Hey everybody, this is Lorelia. I am doing a video about something that is very common this time of year, and I want to share with you some information that has came across my desk. And I thought that, you know what, let me share it with other people because some people are going to have this concern, and that's why I titled this live stream. It's going to be really quick. 1099-C and debt settlement. So if you see the tax form behind me, some people may have received that form in the mail. Now, 1099-C, cancellation of debt, covers a lot of areas when it comes to debt. I'm only going to talk about credit cards. So if you see, let me see if I can do this on here without, okay, all right, without changing anything. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not sure. But I'm only going to talk about credit cards. So let me paint the picture for you of why you may have gotten this in the mail and why individuals get it in the mail. If for some reason, and that's why I said when it comes to debt settlement, and getting debt free and going rah rah rah. Let me put a disclaimer. I'm not here to tell you not to pay your debts, your bills, or what have you. If you feel like in your heart of hearts you want to pay your bills, by all means, you go ahead and pay them. But I am going to address how many individuals may have got this. So what happens is you may have had a credit card from an original creditor, and for some reason, life happens. You didn't pay on it, and it got charged off. What was happening prior to, and that's why I said, that's why I'm going to go into this video. What was happening prior to 2016 is that a lot of credit card companies were issuing individuals who had not paid on their debts. And like I said, they didn't work out any, settlement amount or what have you. They charged it off. I'm not going to go into how a charge off occurs. I did a video about that, and for some way after I do this live, I'll link it if you're not sure how, when, and how charge offs happen. So you had a credit card, you stop paying on it, the credit card the credit card company, the creditor, you are the debtor, puts on your credit report that it has been charged off. What happens is that many people get a 1099-C in the mail for the amount that was charged off. Now, let me go into forgiveness and cancellation. And that is where the tax law, when credit card companies were issuing these out to individuals, the law was not clear to the consumer what was canceled and what was forgiven. Because what was happening prior to 2016 is that credit card companies were issuing these forms to consumers, and then a consumer would see it and say, okay, the debt got canceled. But that still did not mean that the credit card company, the original creditor, did not sell the debt to a debt collector. So what was happening is that the consumer got hit with the 1099-C, which you see behind me, as cancellation of debt, along with a debt collector is trying to collect on the debt. Because remember, cancellation and forgiven are two different animals. What consumers were thinking was that, oh, I got this tax notice in the mail. It says cancellation of debt. I'm free. I don't owe this debt no more. No. What does it mean? It was forgiven. So what was happening was, like I said, 1099-C come in the mail, debt gets sold to a debt collector. Now the amount is still being collected on. And keep in mind, it was not forgiven. So that's why I want to touch on debt settlement. Now, we're in the time of the year where people are getting their tax money. And there are going to be people, like I said, not put no disclaimer out there to not pay your bills. But understand what you are doing. when you decide to go to a creditor and say, I would like to pay this debt off and settle on an agreed amount. Many creditors will not tell you that in the event that you two agree to settle on the amount, that another portion, which is forgiven, because they will tell you, oh, okay, we'll settle. The other piece that you owe will be forgiven. Remember, there's a difference between cancellation and forgiven. If you two agree on a set amount, they can now issue you a 1099-C because you two decided on an amount that you were going to settle for. And remember, they told you they were going to forgive you for that debt. Now, that's a whole different, that's a whole different subject, because now you are entitled to get the 1099-C. But keep in mind, they may not have told you, but you agreed to it. So don't be surprised if you got this in the mail. Now, for those who didn't agree on anything, this is where, please listen, because a lot of times these 1099-Cs may have been sent to you in error and they can be rescinded. But now, I'm not here to give you tax advice. You can handle this yourself. Talk to your tax professional, but understand the law regarding cancellation of debts covers a lot of areas. So there is something that I'm going to discuss, and this is something you need to talk to your tax professional about. You get this form in the mail, you provide them with your paperwork. Now, remind you, cancellation of debt is income. That's how it's looked at. So now, if you have $5,000, I'm just going to use that example as the charge-off amount that a credit card company said, got charged off, you are going to get taxed on that additional income. So now that could take you into a whole nother tax bracket for some people. For other people, that's taxes that, no withholdings came out of. So you may not realize that you are supposed to file that tax form. And if a tax professional is, providing you with the fiduciary duty of doing the right things, the goal is that all they see is this 1099-C. So for them, they're going to file it because it's their fiduciary duty to tell you that, hey, you got this 1099-C and I have to file it as income. But now the other part that is not discussed and the tax professional may not know is this part. In 2016, Congress changed the law. So what happened was that, going back to my original example of you had a credit card, you stopped paying the original creditor, it got charged off. Prior to 2016, when the ruling changed, if you hadn't paid on that charged off amount in 3 years, 36 months, the original creditor can now consider it as 1099-C, cancellation of debt, which is income to you. But in 2016, the law changed. So as long as you two did not agree on a settled amount that they said, okay, you owe 5,000, we're willing to take, to take 1,000 and 4,000 would be income to you and cancellation of debt. As long as you didn't agree to anything, but it was just an amount that was out there that was charged off. In 2016, you were not liable that was not liable to you as a 1099-C. So I hope I explained that right. So let me explain again. 2016, the laws changed. The 36-month rule no longer applied. So there's a fine line, because one may ask, well, Aurelia, what about if the debt was before 2016? It's a fine line. And that's why I said it's up to you and your tax professional to go to the tax law and see what the ruling says. Because you as a consumer do have the right, if you feel like it was sent to you in error, to have it rescinded. But don't feel like, oh, well, you know what, heard a video on YouTube. I was told that it could get rescinded. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for the credit card company to for it to rescind. Now, I can tell you, I only speak on things that I know that I've been through. I don't speak on things that I just heard, on YouTube. And I wish I still had it, but if I could come across it, I will show it. I will do another video, same way I've showed other stuff, in the past, some years ago, a credit card company sent me a 1099-C. Then after that, a week later, they sent me a form in the mail saying that it was sent to me in error. So I say this to you, there could be a chance that you can get a 1099-C and that maybe a letter come after that that says that it was sent to you in error, but don't wait on it. But don't wait on it. So that's why you have to read the ruling that's in the tax law, talk to your tax professional, and see if you qualify to go to your credit card company and say, hey, we didn't agree on nothing. I know that this debt is out there and and it was charged off, but we never agreed on the settle amount because that was the ruling in 2016, that if the debtor and the creditor did not agree on the amount being canceled or forgiven or what have you, it is what it is. It's just a charged off debt. And if that is the case, then you have the right to go to the credit card company and say, hey, we never agreed on this amount, in regards to it being canceled or forgiven or what have you. My right as a consumer is to have this rescinded. But understand, you have to know the law. you know. I'm giving you an abbreviated version. But if you go to, and I wrote this down, IRS Bulletin 2016-48, you just Google that and you will be able to find some information. Now, any tax professional that is worth, I guess, them considering themselves a professional and they have a fiduciary duty to help their clients should assist you with understanding how this ruling works, how it works. Because I know with myself, for my clients, I am clearly going through the understanding with them on a very detailed basis regarding this law. And so when they go to their tax professional, I serve as a liaison for the tax professional who may not know, who are familiar with the law, or who may, because remind you, cancellation of debt covers many areas. It covers student loans. It covers real estate. It goes into recourse and non-recourse debt. I don't want to bore you with the specifics, but if a tax professional do not know how it relates to credit card, their duty is to do what they're there to do. Hey, you got this tax form and I had to file it. So how does this, I did touch on that settlement, but just want to, reiterate that again. If you are one of those people that, plan on settling debts, you need to understand, you need to have some clarity on, will a 1099-C be issued to you? That's a question you need to ask. So I'm not going to rant for any longer because I just wanted to quickly do this. I wanted to do this video and I just wanted to share it with those because what I'm noticing now in the landscape of credit, there is a lot of watered down information. A lot of people who are just re-saying what a lot of other people have already said. And so that's why I'm giving you clear information for you it's not surface talk. I've told you there was an IRS ruling that occurred in 2016 that you can now research yourself to understand it. Because the reason why you want to understand how this works is if you get this form in the mail and you think you're just going to call the credit card company and say, you know what, I think I was sent this in error and can you rescind it? Maybe for some people it may work, but other people it may not. So that is my message for you today. Um, if you are interested in the credit dispute software, the link will be below this video. I do classes every week. Information will be under this video, and I look to talk to you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.